Hello everyone, I'm here with your regular program update, but firstly wanted to kick things off and say a huge well done to everyone that competed and everyone that made it down, helping out as well over the weekend for the throwdown. It was incredible to see so many people there. I think probably the biggest throwdown I've ever had, and I think the level of which everyone was competing at as well has really gone up. It's so clear now to see how hard everyone's working in the program, in classes, when we do events like this. I think, this was absolutely testament to that. But to talk about the program, as some of you may have noticed, a lot of the elements from the last training blocks of the last 4 weeks were really tested out in the throwdown. We had some specific movements like heavy warbles and stuff like that, which we found in the throwdown. And although generally we're still in a strength endurance phase, the movement complexity generally now is going to be starting to go up as well. So that's sort of how we're going to move into this last 4 week block. So simple dynamic movements that have been interlaced with your strength work as of recent will now be, less simple, which will create more of a neurological demand, and they'll start becoming a bit more skill specific. So things like the jumping lunges between your squats, for example, will now be a little bit more complex. We've got things like box jumps and things that require a bit more power. They have a sort of a minimum power output required for the task, as opposed to say a bodyweight lunge, which you can go at any pace really. We'll start seeing some evolution into squat variations with your barbell cycling. So squat snatch, squat cleans are going to be used a lot more in barbell cycling. So on the Wednesday and Friday, you'll definitely see a bit more of that. It'll be a similar phase to what we did with your power cleans and power snatches. We'll also see some more difficult gymnastics skill movements, which will gradually be tested over the 4 weeks to see sort of how well you can endure them. So much more complex gymnastics movements, but still seeing how your endurance is with them and not just drilling them for the sake of it. So for those that already have those movements, it's a really good way to test out capacity. But for those that don't necessarily have those movements, it's a really good way to start looking at them, start getting some consistency with reps and movements that maybe weren't quite as consistent before. Workouts will remain quite varied in the sense of time domain and format. There's still going to be loads of variation, but you'll certainly see some more sprints thrown in, so sprint style workouts and just really simple sprint work, which is something I've put in to really gear us up for the open prep, which will start next year. I'll obviously go into that in a bit more detail when we get there, but at a glance, that phase will be more about mimicking and trying to sort of create the conditions that you'd see in the open. So the intensity and modalities that we often see in open workouts, lots of specificity, lots of skill work, and slightly less of a rigid structure in comparison to what we've been looking at recently. So with the format, with the program format. For now though, let's keep focus on this next block ahead. That starts today, the final part of your strength endurance phase, which, as I said, in a nutshell, is going to be progressed through movement complexity and skill work and trying to endure skill work rather than just adding volume or just adding load. It's going to be a little bit more intricate than, say, the last 8 weeks. So you'll see a lot of that this week. You'll see some more complexity this week, and you'll certainly see that over 4 weeks as well as it progresses. But as always, guys, if you've got any questions or anything at all that you're not sure about with the program or anything at all, just give me a shout. But once again, well done to everyone over the weekend, and I hope you all enjoy this next block.